So as you were on the top of the table over in Scotland, of course, after Celtic's win this weekend, keeps them 2 points clear of the nearest Rangers, of course. But one slip, and it could be, of course, dropping their top spot and giving up to the blue side of Glasgow. We'll take a look at that and more next. That's right, folks. Pablo's game on a prediction video today. We're forward match number 10 or 11 or something like that over in Scotland. And we'll get to that in just a second. What are you doing, man? Smash your subscribe for back today. All things Rovers related, Scottish Premiership related, World Cup related later this year. Goodness gracious me. Of course, Celtic take on Hibs this weekend. A bit of a zinger indeed. And of course, potential banana skin for them as they try to remain top of the bill, of course. But of course, what's going to happen this weekend with the rest of the games? We'll take a look at that and more in a second. Of course, people shout out on VRPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. But of course, let's get cracking. Of course, have a look how we all got on last time around then, shall we, with of course the pickaroos indeed. So here we come. Of course, my picks at the top, the real deals at the bottom. So we're going to start with the Super Jays against Celtic. 3-0 of course was my pick. 2-1 it was in the end, just a narrow, just enough win there for Celtic to get 3 points. Meanwhile, Rangers 4-0 winning over St Mirren. I went with a 2-0, not too shabby. Hibs with a 1-0 win over Motherwell. Of course I went with a 2-1 indeed. Livingston did lose to Ross County. Big win for Ross County. I went the other way for Livingston. Meanwhile, Dundee United smashed Aberdeen. 4-0 demolition job. I went with Aberdeen. And Hearts could only muster a draw against Kilmarnock. So some surprises there. So not really good in my eyes. For me, I think I got 3 there, 50%. Something like that. Meanwhile, Celtic, of course, still lead the charge. 2 points clear over Rangers. Hibs up to third. Of course, making tracks as well. They could potentially close a little bit in on Rangers. We'll see about that. As we look forward to this weekend. Dundee United with a big win, of course, big statement result, of course, first win of the season, closing in on Ross County now. I think those two, do they lock horns or do they just lock horns? No, I think they lock horns this weekend. But anyway, let's take a look at the Super Brew. Where are you, Super Brew? There it is, of course, coming at you. This is, of course, the round robin or the most recent results there. Of course, Mark Chapper's up there with Kevin, Russell, Greeny, the Beast, Shepherd up there with 5.5 points. Well done to all of those for winning top bins there. LG and Cow, 4.5. DJ Horn up there with 92. He's at 4.5 as well. Alex Weller at Wembley as well. Where am I? I'm that nerdy Scottish guy. Where am I? Did I actually put my picks in? I'm worried. There I am, 3.5. I did put my picks in. Whoo! I was a little bit nervous there, pals. A little bit nervous. But these guys all got big points on exact scores. But anyway, let's take a look at the overall leaderboard. It's not great for me at the moment. Not great. At the moment, it is the King Slayer, 60.5. A monster lead. He has 4-point gap over summer of 2018. James City are great. 55 points up there in the top 3. But they are non-movers. Non-movers well as up 1 spot. DJ Hall's up 1 spot. Ultra down a couple of spots there. And then the chasing pack. Durkee Boy is non-mover at 19. He needs some points. He needs some points this weekend. We're going to get it. We're going to flex R1 muscles this week. The Beast up 5 spots. Is he one of the biggest movers, if not the biggest mover? I think so. But anyway, that's, of course, the state of play there. Of course, loads of points to be had. So get involved. /Scott Picks. Free to enter. The link is in the description. But away we go. These are the next games. And, of course, there is a zingers or two. We're going to kick it all off with... In fact, so there's a game tonight. I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 11th of October. There's a game tonight. It's Dundee United against Hibs. And that could actually see Hibs close the gap to just 2 points. So we'll see how that gets on. So regarding all that... the table at the end of this will be a little bit different because we're not going to count that Dundee United against Hibs. We're going to pretend that game is in limbo land. But by the time these games come around, that game we've played in will know the difference. So, but anyway, we're going to talk about Celtic up against Hibs now, of course, over at Celtic Park. Purchased the 93 times, 4, 57 wins for Celtic, 11 wins for Hibs. We've got 25 draws, of course. Celtic, there's just 2 wins in the last 6, 42% form for them right now. Over against the Hibs side, 1-4 on the bounce, 75% form for them heading into this. Last time around, over at Celtic Park, it's a 2-win win for Celtic. That's back in January 2022. Hibs have drawn at least 3 out of the last 6 against Celtic, so there ain't no slouches. And they also picked up a draw against Celtic in the penultimate match at Celtic. It was not the last one, but the previous one. They drew back in the day there. Meanwhile, Hibs with the 1-0 Motherwell, back-to-back clean sheets for them. Of course, Dundee United tonight. Of course, win both of these 2 games. They could actually go into second spot, of course, depending on what goes on elsewhere. The odds for this game, 5-1 on is your Celtic, 5-1 is draw, 12-1 is your away win. I'd love to see Hibs do something here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win, though, for Celtic, unfortunately, which, of course, regardless of what happens elsewhere, will be top billing for Celtic. Meanwhile, Livingston up against St Johnstone, of course, coming out of the Tony Macaroni Stadium. Now, these 2 sides have played each other 37 times, done 1. Of course, we've got. I should take a quick drink here. Tasted pretty nasty. Okay, next up, of course, the Tony Macaroni Stadium is Livingston up against the Super Jays, of course. Played each other 37 times since 2001. 12 wins to Livingston, 17 wins to St Johnstone. Of course, 8 draws at the moment. Livingston, though, winning twice in the last 6. 33% form for them up against St Johnstone's side. Back-to-back defeats for them heading into this match, of course. Last time around, they're over at the Tony Macaroni Stadium. It was a 1-1 draw back in May 2022. Livingston unbeaten against... St Johnstone unbeaten against Livingston over the last 3. Up against a couple of wins and a draw. Meanwhile, Livingston with a 1-0 loss against Ross County. Super Jays with a 2-1 loss against Celtic. Of course, the odds right here right now. Excuse me, 22-19 on is your Livingston. 12-11-5 is your draw. 3-1 is your away win. I'm going to back... I think I'm backing at least... I think I'm going for a draw here. 1-1 piece. Point down the middle. And I think Super Jays will be happy with that, as that's another point in the bag on the road. Ross County against Dundee United, of course, the bottom 2 sides locking horns over at Victoria Park. Played 34 times, 2007. 8 wins for Ross County, 21 wins for Dundee United, and 5 draws, of course. Ross County, though, without a win in the actually 1 win in the last 6. Against the Dundee United side, of course, 2 wins in the last 6. 42% form for them at the moment. Last time around, over at Ross County, it was a 2-1 win for Dundee United back in May 2022. Of course, last season, both these 2 sides were in the top 6. They finished in that top end of the bracket there. Dundee United with a big 4-0 win at Aberdeen, a statement result that Ross County with a 1-0 win over Livingston. Of course, moving forward. In fact, that's just 1 goal in the last 4 games for Ross County. It was a big win, it was, over Livingston. The odds right here, right now. Ross County 65 with 21-10 is draw, and 12-5 is your away win here. Back in, of course, Ross County. 1-0 win for them, 3 points in the bag, and away they go. St Mirren up against Kilmarnock. Of course, Camacho at St Mirren, played St Mirren Park, of course, played each other 49 times since the year 2000. 16 wins for St Mirren, 22 wins for Kilmarnock, 11 draws, of course. St Mirren, they're winning 4 of the last 6. 67% form for them right now up against Kilmarnock, so just 1 win and 5. 40% form for them heading into this. Of course, last time around over at St Mirren, it was a 2-0 win for St Mirren back in February 2021. St Mirren unbeaten over Kilmarnock over the last 4 occasions, pick up a couple of wins and a couple of draws. St Mirren, though, did lose to Rangers 4-0 drubbing, and Kilmarnock with a big 2-2 draw against Hearts, of course, as they try to climb the table. Indeed, last time around, or heading into this, 11-10 on is your St Mirren here, 23-10 is your 3-1 is your away win. Of course, back in St Mirren to get a 2-0 win for them, 3 points in the bag, and that could actually put them back into the 3rd spot, depending on what goes on elsewhere. Motherwell against Rangers to come at you over at Fir Park. That's on Sunday, the 16th of October. Played each other 95 times in 1994. 10 wins for Motherwell, 66 wins for Rangers. We've got 19 draws. Motherwell, though, just 1 win in 5. 42% form for them. Up against the Rangers side of 1-3 and lost 3. 50% form. However, 3 wins in the last 4 games, of course. Last time around over at Fir Park, it was a 3-1 win for Rangers. That was back in April 2022. Rangers with a big 4-0 win over St Mirren. Motherwell with a 1-0 loss against Hibs. Of course, Rangers are in action against Liverpool, of course, over at Ibrox this coming midweek. But the odds here, 13-2 is your Motherwell. We have 4-1 as your draw, 3-1 as your away win. Of course, you've got to back Rangers here, 3-0 win for them. 3 points in the bag, and away they go, keeping up the heat at the top of the table. Aberdeen up against Hearts. Bit of a zinger, this one. Of course, Aberdeen in 6th, Hearts in 5th. Over at Pittodrie, played to the 98 times since 1984. 30 wins for Aberdeen, 44 wins for Hearts, 24 draws, of course. Aberdeen, though, just 1 win in 4, 58% form over the last 6. Hearts, though, without a win in 3, 42% form for them over the last 6. Last time around, though, over at Pittodrie, it was a 2-0 win for Aberdeen back in October 2021. In fact, the away side hasn't won this game in a long time, all the way back into 2017, where Aberdeen beat Hearts back in May 2017. It's been a long time, folks. Aberdeen, though, picking up a 4-0 loss against Dundee United. Hearts with a 2-2 draw against Kilmarnock, and of course Fiorentina are taking on Hearts as well this midweek over in Italy. So a long week for Hearts. But of course, the odds right here are now 5-4 is your Aberdeen, 50-8 is your Hearts, 23-10 is the draw here. Back in, of course, a tough one, 2-1 for Aberdeen, and that could actually see them go up as high as 4th in the table, depending on what goes on elsewhere. That, of course, is my pickaroos for this, and if I'm right, this is what the table will look like. Of course, Celtic with, of course, 27 points. Rangers up there in 25. Then St Mirren up to 3rd in the table. Good discretion me. However, that might be wrong. Remember, there is an extra game that we didn't take into account. So Aberdeen Hibs could actually still be in 3rd, depending on what goes on elsewhere. That's, of course, my take on it, guys. Be sure, of course, get your own take. Currently, Scott picks. And, of course, we'll be back for the next round of games very soon. But until then, guys and girls, smash your subscribe, smash your thumbs up, smash the little bell. We're back, of course. Until then, be safe out there. And, of course, get your picks in and smash the old subscribe.